It's Tuesday, the 24th of July, 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. In Jinshin Jitsu, Safety Njilok number 24 came into the universe meaning understanding or harmonizing chaos. So what I understand that is that when we are discriminating in terms of what we understand we need for our lives, when we are living true to what is important to us and not in a way that we're trying to please other people or get the approval of other people, then we end up having right understanding of how things actually can be for us and therefore for others. So when we have this understanding, it brings harmony to the chaos that is within us. It also brings harmony to the chaos within us by helping us integrate all parts of ourselves. So very often we experience inner chaos because we only want to highlight the parts or show to the world the parts that we think are acceptable or the parts that authority figures in our lives have told us that are okay, but the parts that are not okay, so maybe your rebel or your maverick or your weirdo or your needy part or your clingy part or your insecure part, those parts generally we don't really want to show the world, so we tend to try and suppress those parts, and when we do that we create chaos within ourselves because we are not one-sided human beings. We are complete human beings that contain every trait. When we know that and when we accept that and when we do the work on ourselves to find those parts that we've suppressed and integrate them and live in harmony with them, then we have understanding of how it is that we can bring about this harmonizing of the chaos within us. And the more we work on ourselves, the more it reflects out in the world. 24 is a 6, and 6 is about appreciation of beauty. It's about discrimination. Discrimination in terms of knowing what it is that is best for you, and knowing that what's best for you is not necessarily best for someone else, or what someone else, a parent, a preacher, or a teacher found best for them and has tried to make the best thing for you is not necessarily the best thing for you, because we're all unique. We all have a unique fingerprint or blueprint of who we are in the world, and we express that in a unique form. So when we try and be like others that we're trying to please, then we are essentially we're selling ourselves down the river. We're being inauthentic towards ourselves, and that's what leads to inner chaos and turmoil. So when we connect to this energy of Safety Njilok number 24, it can bring understanding and it can help us to harmonize the chaos. It can also help us to appreciate the beauty that resides within us, not just the parts that we think are beautiful, but the beauty inherent in those parts that we think are not beautiful. So when we can do that, then we can integrate all parts. Remember, your light can only shine as brightly as you have integrated your shadow. Without the shadow, there is no light. So we keep on trying to hide the shadow and pretend it's not there, and we want our lights to shine, but the paradox is that they can only shine as brightly as we can accept and integrate those parts of ourselves that we find less than acceptable. And you know, if you were the only person in the whole world, like if you were the only human being on earth, well, we'd have certain problems, right? But if you were the only human being on earth, you'd think you were perfect because you would have nothing to compare yourself to. So it's only when we start comparing and competing that we actually find ourselves lacking, and we judge some parts of ourselves as being bad and we judge other parts of ourselves as being good. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the philosopher, said, "Envy is ignorance, imitation is suicide." My understanding of that quote is that when we envy people because we think they've got within themselves what we don't have, it's because we don't appreciate our light. So envy is ignorance. You can't see that you have the light inside you. And imitation is suicide. When you try and be someone that you're not, when you're trying to emulate someone else, when you're trying to be someone else, then you're basically killing yourself. Okay, it's pretty deep, right, for a Tuesday morning. All right, so, excuse me, 6 is about harmony. It's about bringing harmony. And remember, we've got 6 in the personality number, the day number today, and we've got 6 in the hero number as well. So that energy of the 6 is very intense today, and it is about harmonizing. It's about finding beauty. It's about finding understanding. It's about appreciating the other side and that the other side exists. So today we really have the ability to bring that harmonious energy into our days. We've, of course, got the 7 from July, which is about the road less traveled. It's about being an independent thinker. So again, we can bring harmony, but we don't have to sacrifice ourselves in order to do that. We don't have to pretend to be who we're not in order to bring harmony, i.e. make someone else happy. And the 7 really helps us to maintain our independence within that. The 2 from 2018 helps us to keep a balanced understanding and helps us to connect deeply with our emotions so that we are able to feel them. They will come in as the tide comes in, and they will ebb again as the tide recedes, if we allow ourselves to feel them fully. If we suppress them, they will go underground and generally tend to sabotage us in some form or another. We've got the 6 as the hero again, as I said today. 6 is also about creativity. It's about wanting to make it beautiful. It's about creating something that is beautiful and that is uniquely beautiful and has meaning to you. So we really have the ability to connect to that energy today. The villain today is a 3. So when we have a 3 in the villain position, then we tend to lose focus. We get easily distracted. We get distracted by low priority things or things that are low priority for us. Now, back to the 6 wanting to potentially keep the peace and maintain harmony. Very often what happens is, in an attempt to do that, we often say yes when we mean no. Or we try and be what we think the other person wants us to be, or we behave in a way that's going to make someone else happy that might not make us happy. So, if you want someone's approval, then you want to support what's important to them. But what's important to them might not be important to you. So that's the danger inherent in that energy of the 6 that just wants to keep it beautiful and doesn't want confrontation, doesn't want to make it ugly, because, everything is balanced. So we've got the beautiful, charismatic charm of the 6, but we also have this tendency to sacrifice who we are in order to make and keep others happy of the 6 also, and not focus on what's important to us. So that 3 in the villain position makes us susceptible to focusing on what's important to other people as opposed to what's important to us today. And that can lead to distraction, and that leads to sabotage and hesitation and procrastination. So if you find yourself procrastinating today, spending too much time on social media, I don't know, just basically buggering around, not actually getting down to what it is that you actually want to do. If you had a certain goal or an intention for today and you find that you're being distracted from that, you want to ask yourself whether that is truly your goal or whether that's a goal that belongs to someone else that you are trying to please or satisfy. Or if this is not your goal, then whose is it? And why is that the goal that you have set today? There is quite a bit of earth today in the life map, unlike yesterday, so we should find ourselves feeling a bit more grounded and a bit less rushed and a little bit less chaotic. One thing about the 6 is also that energy of the 6 can strive for perfectionism, because, the ultimate beauty. And so we can become almost obsessive about the detail. And that in itself can railroad us, only because we become so obsessive about the details and we need it to be so perfect that we actually don't deliver whatever that thing is to the world until it is perfect, and that can hold us back. So do guard against that. But overall, 6 is about harmony, it's about beauty, it's about understanding and bringing harmony to the chaos. So if you're feeling that your life is somewhat chaotic, ask yourself, how is this chaos benefiting you? How is it actually a gift to you? Not so that you can make the chaos positive, but so that you can see that inherent in the chaos, there has to also be order. And today, the energy of the day of the 24 really can help us to connect to that order. We've got Jin Shin Jyutsu, of course, to help us through the day, and Safety Interlock number 24 is located on the little finger. The little finger, the attitude of the little finger is pretense, trying to be who you are not. Oh, bugger, that's the timer of my steamer that's just gone off. Sorry about that. Trying to pretend to be who you're not. Also, trying to be perfect, trying to get it 100% right, trying to be the perfect wife, the perfect child, the perfect mother, the perfect employee, right? Trying to be perfect in order to get the approval from someone else. When we hold our little finger, it helps to harmonize that chaos of the trying to and the being inauthentic, because we think that that's the only way we can get the approval or the love that we seek. Remember, we all want to be loved for who we really are. But until we can love ourselves for who we really are, it becomes impossible for us to show that to the world. And then it becomes impossible for others to love us for who we really are, because we're continuously showing them some sort of mask. Holding the little finger helps to harmonize that. It also helps to harmonize the small intestine and the heart function. You'll remember the little finger was where we had safety interlock number 23 yesterday. So when you hold the little finger, you're harmonizing that circulation function, the flow, the maintenance of the circulation of all the fluids and the energy in the body. And now we're also holding safety interlock number 24, and that brings understanding and harmonizes chaos. It also brings a balance between the analytical function of the small intestine and the feeling function of the heart. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.